Good morning. This is Caregiver Crossing, a podcast brought to you by Joy's House, presented in partnership with Cardon and Associates. We are happy you're here. Caregiver Crossing is a podcast created just for you, the caregiver. I'm Tina McIntosh.
I'm her friend, Terry Stacy.
I'm Candace Hatterball. Hatterball. It sounded really country.
You guys are so weird. We are so glad that you're here. We are talking today about 6 things savvy dementia caregivers do differently to encourage mobility. There's a lot to that. So I got 6 things I got. These are really skilled, good caregivers, but they're not just any caregivers. They're people who are caring for a loved one living with dementia. And they do some unique things to encourage mobility because we know that movement, mobility is a really important part in helping the person that you love maintain their abilities for as long as they can. And so we're going to talk about how to make that change. This is coming to us from she doesn't know how much we love her, Teempa Snow. And if you don't know her, you need to. Google her now. It's Teempa, Teepa Snow. And she's everything. Candace, I know you follow her on TikTok.
I do. I love her. And she makes things so easy and just easy to understand, easy to follow, and every day. There's no bells and whistles.
Agreed. All right. So you both have studied this article that we're talking about here with the way that these caregivers do things differently. So give us one of them. Like I don't even care what number you pick, but give us one of the things on the list.
They proactively add movement into their daily schedule, which I think is probably a smart thing for all of us to do. Set aside some time to get up and move. But savvy
like Zumba?
Caregivers.
Are we talking like Zumba with like leg warmers on?
Let's do it. But
Girl, listen, I am really sexy when I do Zumba. I've done it before, and I am so sexy unless there's a mirror in the room. And then I'm like, dear God, my poor husband. Like, what?
Oh my goodness.
What does sexy look like? So sorry, that's a different podcast. We're not talking about sexy Zumba, are we? But what kind of things when we say they're proactively adding movement? Like, what are they doing? They're not running marathons necessarily.
No, they're not. But in between their loved one's favorite show, they're getting up and they're just doing some waist turns or some arm circles or even wrist circles. I've seen people add light arm weight or wrist weights to their loved ones or even to themselves to help keep up strength and mobility. I think things like that, just small, but are so impactful.
Well, and let's talk about a good way to do that because, I know a lot of people listening are probably thinking, please, I cannot get my mother to get off that couch and go to the bathroom, much less do her arm circles, But the reality is, if you set it up like it's a class, and we know this because we do this at Joy's House all the time, and if one person is the leader and starts to do some kind of, I don't know, a leg lift, you're sitting in a chair, or on the couch and you say, let's touch our left knee and bring your knee up to your hand. If one person starts doing it, what we find is typically the care recipient, in this case, someone living with dementia, will start to do it too. And it doesn't matter if the movements are perfect. We're just talking, Candace, right about just moving, get up and move.
Just moving.
Don't do everything for them. If they're still mobile and they can get from point A to point B, let them do it. I can't stand when people are like, no, sit down, Dad, I'll bring it to you. Why are you doing that? No, yep. Dad, you get off your butt and come over here with love, respectfully. But, get people to be moving, right? So love it. What's another one? Terry, you got one?
Yeah. Even if you're wheelchair bound, and you love to dance, you still have that ability to do some sort of movement, even in the wheelchair. And I think sometimes, even if you're asked to stay in a wheelchair for just a short amount of time, if that's healing a hip or that's healing a leg or something, you feel like, well, I'm just stuck here. I cannot move. But the truth is, any type of upper body movement or anything like that is moving. Right? That's mobility, that's moving, and that's getting your blood moving, and that's your heart pumping. And you can still dance even if you're just sitting in a chair. I do it. I'm doing it right now. I'm dancing in a I'm dancing in a chair. You can dance upper body movement. If you move your leg around in a circle, move it. Even if you're wheelchair bound, even if it's temporary, I think still getting your that person out of that mindset of I can't move is a good thing.
So
right?
that leads me to another one that I know has to be on the list, and that's about rhythm. And so, Terry, what you're saying about like, I'm dancing, dancing, dancing. I'm not making fun of your rhythm. That's not what I was doing. But it's like,
Yes, you
when
are.
my kids, when my kids were little, we had dance parties in the kitchen all the time. And you know how we did it? We turned on the music. That was it. That's all it took. That's all it took. I'd be making dinner. I'd start to, move my shoulders, swing my hips, sing a song, clap my hands. And before I knew it, my kitchen was filled with little ones and dogs. And then my husband would join in. And so, I don't know, try it. I mean, Candace, it's got to be on the list, right? Something about rhythm.
It's not on the list, but that's a good one we should add. But there's a point there, Tina, because here at Joy's house, music plays such an important part of our day, and individuals living with dementia or Alzheimer's, I feel like music is one of the last things to go. They can remember songs from when they were itty bitty and will just start singing along if they hear the tune or pick up the words.
Okay, so this one I did read on there. Know their likes and dislikes. Okay, so we're just going to stay with the music here for a minute. For instance, for me, do not play for me something that I don't like. I will not dance. I will not move. I will not sing. I will not do anything. I know the song that will, until I am in the grave, make me dance and sing. Do the two of you know your song?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I think I got one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mine's
yeah.
September, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Every time.
Can you hum the tune?
Da 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 in September.
That's a good one.
Every time.
All right. Candace?
Probably Midnight Train to Georgia.
Ooh, you're swaying.
Oh, I love it.
Right? I like it.
Yep.
All right. Mine is I'm going to be fit until I die because mine is all 14 minutes of Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang. Y'all know it. A hip hop, the hippie to the hippie, the hip hip, a hopper, you don't stop, rock it to the bang bang. But I can go on.
We found our new intro music.
Now what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat. It's too early for this, I know. But that will forever be my song. As a matter of fact, my son, side note, I'm so sorry, people. Some days this just happens. Side note, my son is in high school, and his one of his coaches put that on the other day, apparently, while she was working, and he walked in singing it, and she said, "Boy, you don't know this song." And he was like, "Please, I know this song." And she said, "Where'd you learn that?" He said, "From my mom." And she was like, "Yeah, I knew I liked her." So the tradition will carry on forever, but you can get a good workout to a 14-minute Rapper's Delight. All right, what else, Terry? What's on this list that we got?
I would like to throw it back to Candace, if I may, for just a moment. Candace, looking at you.
I can pick it up there. Encourage your loved ones to participate in any daily task possible, whether that's folding laundry, rolling silverware, loading the dishwasher, I don't know, vacuuming, anything.
Walking out with you to get the mail, talking with the neighbors, having to, if they're still able to go up and down stairs, that is a great workout as long as you feel like somebody's safe and you've got the handrails and all the things. But, it's kind of like what I was saying earlier. Don't just say like, "No, Dad, I'll get it for you." Like, no, let's get up and do these things. And if we have to supervise or help transfer, do it as long as it's safe. So I love that has made it on this list as well. And then I think, on there, they talk about paying attention to the person's abilities as well. And obviously that's key. I mean, if somebody can't do something, you don't want to force them or put them in an unsafe or even uncomfortable situation. But you work with what you've got. And so I like this list a lot. But again, anything Teempa Snow touches is gold. Golden. I mean, that's established.
You know what I would say about this list is, I know that we're specifically talking about Alzheimer's and dementia, but I think this is really good for anyone that we're caring for, regardless of what they may have been diagnosed, right? I think it's wonderful. I have a neighbor that we kind of care for from time to time, trying to keep her independent. She's 85 now. And she is legally blind. But some of those things you're talking about, I think these are so good for her. She'll have somebody come over to clean her house, but there are certain things that she still loves to do. And she still loves to dust the furniture. So she knows where everything is, and it's something she loves to do, and she accounts for that. That gets her up and moving and staying somewhat as independent as she possibly can. Because the minute we take that independence away from them, I think it's like almost, and I don't mean to use this word, but it's almost like a death sentence. I think sometimes for some, when we take everything away from them, and to do it for them. I think
Right.
for some.
Well, okay, so
for
let's
some.
talk about that for just a minute. I mean, we're moving through the mobility conversation into something that's a little bit different, but still very important is
Yeah.
what we have found at Joy's house, what I think we have learned, all of us in our lives, and certainly what we are developing with our end-of-life doula program that we're starting at Joy's house. Yes, I said end-of-life doula. Some of you just perked up and loved it. Others are terrified. It's okay. We get mixed reaction. But what we are really learning with this is when you don't have purpose in life, whatever
Right.
that is, you're done. That's when people say,
Yeah.
I'm just ready to go. There's just no
Yeah.
reason for me to be here anymore. So purpose is everything. And so, Candace's suggestions about rolling the silverware, or, I don't care if you empty out the Tupperware drawer, because I know you don't have lids for all of those things, or you have too many. So put out the Tupperware, put out the lids, ask them to match things up. Go through things like that together. That purpose is just incredible for folks. And so,
Yeah.
it's a good conversation. And Candace has her hand up. Go ahead, Candace.
I do, because I'm not above unfolding the same towels that you just sat there and folded. We will do this cycle 10 times and fold the same 4 towels if that's what gives you purpose in those few minutes.
Absolutely. How many times at Joy's house, and historically, we had somebody who loved to put a mailer inside of an envelope. Those mailers went in those envelopes thousands, I feel like, of times. And I know some of you are thinking, well, that's just cruel. Like, why would you have them do that over and over? Because they enjoyed it and because it gave them
Yeah.
purpose. And so
Yeah.
I just know not to go over to Candace's house to fold any towels because I'll never be done, is what I'm hearing. Bottom line.
Nope, never ending.
Great conversation, ladies. I think, unfortunately, it's time for us to go. We will be back next week. Before we go, Terry, we have a big sponsor that we want to thank.
All right, before we go, we want to thank our sponsor, Cardon and Associates, with 20 communities owned, operated, or managed here in the Midwest, and more than 40 years of senior living experience. Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. On behalf of Tina McIntosh, Candace Hattabaugh, I'm Terry Stacy. Until next time, thank you all so much for joining us here on Caregiver Crossing. We'll talk to you next week.